Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we finally got Judgey on the stand, and at first he was not being very cooperative, but we got him to testify about, well, to be fair, he didn't actually give us that much, so, just, the base testimony, but that's what the cross-examination is for. Hopefully we'll be able to make some more connections between his role with, well, specifically the thing about, figuring out what Kazuma's role is and how Judgey relates to that. But might as well start from the beginning.
Hold it!
A year ago, when Kazuma was still in Japan then. Also, I don't know if I might have mentioned it before, but I don't remember. I guess this whole business was what Kazuma's other reason for coming to Japan was, wasn't it? Because, even back in the very first case of the first game, there was this, other, Kazuma was being weird about it, and, his other duty he had besides just reforming the legal system and whatnot. I guess this was it, doing an assassination. My goodness. You think you know a guy, am I right? Correct. It was at the examination center for applicants for the study tour that I approached him. I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I'd consider traveling to Britain on an assassination mission. Bro. That's okay. I would have assumed, a little more subtlety was going to be at foot. But, no, just fucking come up and ask a dude, hey, you wanna do an assassination? Surely not. I thought it was a joke at first, of course. But then, it was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour. Oh. Okay, return of the baby slaps. So you agreed to it, just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but assassination? Yeah, it's a little much, isn't it? The Empire of Japan had accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. But behind the scenes, the chosen students would be given assassination missions. I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart. Why? Why didn't you expose the plot there and then? I mean, that you could have. I feel like if you... Well, then again, it's like, if we assume this is coming from the high, pretty high up in the pecking order, it's like, who are you gonna report it to, Britain acknowledges no part in these alleged and misbegotten dealings. I advise you not to make spurious allegations. Okay, clearly I needed to do some fucking vocal training before I started, because I can't fucking speak. I advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Judgey. As a witness, I am bound to tell the truth, my lord. Anyway, I picked a Sussy and explained the details of the plan to him. The target was Inspector Gregson, and that was a condition of the British study.
Hold it!
Right. Why Kazuma? Why did you pick him as the assassin? He was the most capable of all the applicants, and in addition, I knew his desire to travel to Britain was very strong. In fact, it was almost more than a desire. It was his whole purpose in life. Yes, as his best friend, I can certainly attest to that. I mean, he really did want to go to Britain. That was for sure. The way he threw himself into his studies, the way he pursued becoming qualified as a lawyer, It was all ultimately with that one singular goal of being accepted on a study tour to Britain. And of course, we know the reason behind that. He was determined to find out for himself the truth about his father, Genshin Sussy. Yeah, the whole Reaper, the whole professor business. I mean, I can understand that weighing pretty heavily on his mind. There's nothing I wouldn't have done to get here. Be that agreeing to assume the role of an assassin, or betraying people's trust. Well, you certainly did a fine job of betraying mine, Sussy. Damn. Oof. Talk about some bad blood. Whew, but why was Inspector Gregson the target? I have no idea. Those were the orders from Britain. I was in no position to question them. You have no idea? Really? I find that hard to believe. Oh, do you? Judgey was once a visiting student here in Britain himself, of course. Perhaps he has some connection with Inspector Gregson from that time. The defense really ought to catch up. With what? Personally, I hear it goes pretty well with hot dogs myself. With the fact that the assassin exchange has absolutely nothing to do with the case under scrutiny here. Yes, I've already admitted to recruiting a Sussy. However, in the end, something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission. Yeah, the whole tripping and falling on his neck and losing his memories and whatnot. I presume you are referring to the incident that occurred during Cozuma's passage to Britain in January. Yeah, that whole ordeal. The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship. Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure from our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but his body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I'd placed on the ship to accompany the assassin. Obviously, Cosima didn't actually die at all, but he did lose his memory, including all details about his special mission. Did you notice, did you not consider dispatching another assassin at that point? That wasn't possible, simply because that black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as a Soggy's replacement. And there was no way to stop him from reaching Britain. Ah! Oh, yeah. And I guess that was, Herlock's plan. Or, well, Herlock's encouragement to encourage us to, take on the role of Kazuma. My hands were completely tied. So Mr. Schultz's strategy worked perfectly. Yep, so apparently it did. Well, at least for the top, at least, temporarily. He predicted everything that would happen. Months later, my memory returned, but I never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway. So you were playing me right from the outset, were you? Is that it? I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than have taken someone else's life. Wow. Well, I mean... Maybe... I don't know. I'm still, not entirely sure what to make of Cosmo at this point, but I guess he just really wanted to go to England, so he was willing to pretend to go on the assassination mission. I was prepared to do whatever I had to in order to get myself here to Britain. This line of questioning has gone on long enough. All the court should be concerned about in the testimony given by this witness are details relating to his relationship with Inspector Gregson and the victim's murder. Well, in that case, as I've already made perfectly clear, I had no connection to the man or his death. And you have some means of substantiating this plea. On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times.
Hold it!
Outside your cabin in the first-class area, the SS Grouse, you mean? Yes, that's right. Not least because there was a murder of a student passenger early in the year, I imagine. The liner operators have taken to posting a crewman outside every first-class cabin door. I can confirm the presence of the crewman guard himself. What do you mean? Because I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk that night. I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-built crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin. Yeah, well, Herlock and Mikutba met him at least. At that particular time, of course, I had gone to the ship's dining room for dinner. The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for Judge Goko's return. Yeah, this doesn't explain, like, why he accompanied Gregson. Well, again, I figure we're gonna learn about it eventually, so I guess I should just stop asking. But, like, how did this assassination, if Gregson was a victim all along, you know, why were they going to see Judge Goko in the first place? You know? I suppose Inspector Gregson was there in his capacity as the Reaper. He was intending to take the witness's life. Exactly. As I've said numerous times now, I had no intention of killing anyone. So the crewman let two potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding. Not the most convincing of centuries, really. In truth, those are my thoughts, too. Yeah, why are you looking at me, Cosmo? But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Gregson for a short while. And then I left him there, and I made my way off the ship alone. So what, I guess Cosmo was what, like a double agent? You know, like pretending to help the Reaper, and also pretending to help Judge Shigoko in his assassination exchange plot? What a crafty fella, that Cosmo. Was the guard still at the door when you went? Yes. He glared at me as I walked past. You see? That proves it. I mean, all that really proves is that you and Gregson, were alone together after Cosmo left. But, then again, well, there is this last statement to consider.
Hold it!
The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, you mean? That's right. A muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. To be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. But, as it happens, he's a vital witness now. There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot. And it's inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that. But wait, what about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned out the sound of the gun being fired. Sadly, young judicial assistant, that won't wash. Oh! You will recall that my cabin was in the first-class area of the ship, which is also, of course, the quietest. Don't imagine for a moment that it's anything like that, like steerage where the judicial assistants go. I didn't mean... But a hole like that made by a bullet was found in your cabin, Judge Goko. That's compelling evidence that a gun was fired in there. What's that? A bullet hole? Oh, yes. You were talking about what that, detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. That was obviously a rotten panel eaten out by a woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet. Ugh. That's the hole in this argument. Sadly, I was unable to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me. But obviously, if a gun had been fired in my cabin on the night in question, as the defense implies, I would have been arrested on the spot and would never have made it to Britain in the first place. Very true. The witness's logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard from the witness's cabin on the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth. I'm glad you've seen sense, my lord. I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking on this incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by somebody else is still a real shock. It's unforgivable, using Kazuma-sama's feelings to manipulate him into agreeing to such a despicable plan. But I think Kazuma manipulated Judge Goko too. He completely double-crossed him. Yeah, seems like it. Oh dear. It's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma-sama's part. Yeah, I guess so. One way or another, though, Gregson ended up dead. Someone had to have killed this motherfucker. I really think that the murder must have happened aboard that steamship. So you mean... Judge Goku must be lying. I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. But you must destroy him, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, get his ass, me. But where exactly... Well, okay, I'll look through the evidence once more, because, like, nothing obvious comes to mind. Well, there is one thing, but I'm not sure if I have the evidence to present it, you know? So let's double check. Let's see. Telegram... Evacuation drill... Oh, wait, what am I saying? We do have, fucking, evidence. Let's see. Evacuation drill itinerary. I had completely forgot about this. See, following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures. The drill will take 20 minutes. Crew to resume duties as soon as the drill is over. Well, Mr. Judge Degoko, clearly a member of the crew was not outside your cabin at all times, considering there was a 20-minute period where they were doing a drill, apparently. So,
Objection!
Yeah, it's kind of obvious now that I've reviewed my evidence. Yes, as the court has heard, there was a crewman posted outside Judge Goko's cabin. However, we can be sure that, contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times. What? I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard the steamship on the 31st. What? Wow, that wasn't really a good voice. What? Where did you get that? It's evidence gathered by Mr. Herlock Schultz. I guess he had that in his pocket, and he gave that to us when we got back. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember. Ugh. Herlock Schultz again. According to this itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m., and for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Grouse were to gather on deck for an evacuation drill. All crewmen were away from their posts. And during that 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one. Uh-oh. Man, I keep saying it, but his mean face is really scary. Like, heck, I know Strongheart has an imposing demeanor, but I don't know, Chigoko's kind of on another level. In summary, Judge Degoko, You had ample opportunity to commit the crime. Ah!
Objection!
I forgot about your objection sound clip. It's been a while. 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find, Ryunosuke. But it amounts to nothing. Well, why? Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false, your accusation is nothing more than conjecture. Very true. Well, counsel? Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Chigoko's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Because the defense has the evidence to prove it. Oh fuck, do we now? You will present the evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Chigoko's cabin on the 31st of October? Let's double check. Also, man, this music. I tell you, it goes hard. And I'm thinking about the autopsy report, but at the same time, it's probably not useful considering there's reason to believe that they tried to cover up what the time of death actually was. Also, yeah, we haven't. They didn't actually get rid of any of our evidence, like they normally do for these cases. Like, we still got a bunch of shit that I can't imagine is gonna come up and play anytime soon. It's just fucking clogging up the goddamn court record. But okay. Okay, so we have the telegram, which I don't think is it. There's this small component that was in the cabin that we don't know about what it's for yet, as of yet. The evacuation drill, which I don't think was it. Clint's autopsy report, which I don't think is going to come and be useful as of right now. Passport. Trunk. Oh, I see. The fact that the highlighter had, didn't have the check mark made me think there was something new about it. But no, it was the same thing as before. Sony papers, photograph. Well, fuck, dude. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's like the bullet hole that we saw that was in his cabin, but there was no bullet, so we can't like confirm anything one way or the other. And besides, that's not evidence in our court record, so... Oh. There's a trunk, too. I definitely feel like the trunk is going to come into play at some point, still. I don't think the passport's going to be useful, because, I mean, obviously it proves that he traveled and stuff, but that doesn't directly connect him to Chigoko's cabin. Okay, I think whatever it is, we need to consider it has to be something that was in Chigoko's cabin. And the only thing that we haven't already presented was this thing? Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there and see what we get. Judge Chigoko! Oh, I guess I was right. Epic. I still don't know what it's for, but, yeah, sure. Judge Chigoko, this was found in your cabin yesterday. What is that? The crown of a pocket watch. Oh, wait, oh, that's what that is. A pocket watch. Maybe I should have actually double-checked what this was supposed to be. Okay, well, yeah, duh. That makes it more obvious. I think I actually did look at that, like, when I first got it, but I had forgotten. A pocket watch. And if you will observe, the victim's pocket watch, which we know he treasured, is missing precisely that part. It can't be. Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Ugh. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Chigoko's cabin tells us that the victim's watch almost certainly broke there. Yeah, so that's evidence directly connecting Gregson to Chigoko's cabin. So, in other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill in the cabin occupied by you, Judge Chigoko. See that face. That's a scary motherfucker. Like, I know there are definitely characters that, you know, are imposing and whatnot, but my goodness, I don't know. Something about him just really, like, intimidates me, man. Even more so than, like, your Manfred von Karmas or your Damon Gantz. He's spooky. Let's see. Also, I don't know if I should leave off here. Like, this would make a pretty good thumbnail. But also, yeah, you know, I don't know when the next, like, really, like, good point will come, so leaving off, seeing how Chigoko will react to our revelation, or, you know, what we've revealed. Yeah, we can leave off here, I guess. In the next episode, I hope Judge Chigoko will not look at me all spooky like. Yeesh. But anyway, until then though, I'll see you around.